Densify is a service, but that doesn't mean it's manual. In fact, it drives higher levels of automation than most other products. And to understand how, it's useful to look at robotic control theory. When you're controlling robots, there's two types of control. Deliberative, or the more intelligent predictive ability, that's the part that understands what you're trying to accomplish or what process you're trying to automate and how you optimize the overall outcome. And there's also reactive, which is the more real-time response to prevent problems, such as sensors on the arms to make sure they don't hit someone. It doesn't really help you achieve your overall goal, but it makes sure you can do it safely. And in robotic control, it's important to have both of these types of control. Now, in IT systems, unfortunately, most products are purely reactive, and that doesn't really help you achieve your goals. It does help with certain aspects of performance, but doesn't help with efficiency or really predicting what's going to happen and driving overall outcomes. And Densify is the only product that includes both of those. Now, because of the ability to do both of these types of control, it gives us some very powerful abilities to do automation, both tactical and strategic. So if you go down this list, starting with rebalancing and resizing VMs, that's very important to make sure that things stay running smoothly and that you're responding to changing operational conditions. As you get further down, you start to see reclaim or software license control. That's designed to save you money and more intelligently use your infrastructure to make sure your supply and demand are properly aligned. And towards the bottom of this list, you see it's also has some very powerful placement and workload routing capabilities that are API driven. So if you want to start a new application or you have a new cloud request, it will intelligently tell you where to put it, both on-prem and in hybrid cloud. And it can even do this for very complex multi-tier applications. So if you have a new critical business application, this can save days of activity of trying to figure out where it's going to go in your infrastructure and whether you're going to have enough resources to host it. Now, if you look at the Densify UI, you can see this automation down the left-hand side in our navigation, and the real-time and proactive are called out separately. And if I click on proactive, what we'll see is that you have very fine-grained control over how this type of automation occurs. For rebalancing and resizing VMs, you have many options, policy options to dictate how it happens. Everything from hot add in this case, to wait until the VM power cycles, or even force a restart. So again, a lot of different control options for how you implement that level of automation. It also supports disk bump up, so it will automatically add space if the disks are getting full. And on the far right, you can see that it also allows you to tell it when it's safe to do that automation, what the change window is. And this is very important for our customers. You want to constrain the type of changes to a narrow window to make sure it's not interfering with the operational cycle. Now, this is the proactive automation. This is the part that uses the predictive analysis to try and anticipate what's going to happen and make all these changes before problems occur or before the business day starts. Now, if I go over to real-time, Densify also supports reacting in real time during the day to changing conditions. And in this case, you can see we can tell it how we want to control CPU bump up, memory bump up, and also Densify will program DRS rules to make sure that the software licensing containment is enforced throughout the operational day. So it will also dictate how VMs are moved around and give more intelligence in that regard. And this allows you to set up, again, the real-time aspects of how it operates. Now, if I go to our executive summary, I can actually see a dashboard showing me the impact of this on an environment. And this is the Automation Insight dashboard. It shows me both the real-time and proactive automation. And across the bottom, you can see from the bottom left, we have how much automation is enabled. So we can see whether I have full automation enabled or whether it's only partially enabled, as well as how much has happened so far today. This is looking at a today view. We can also look at a weekly or monthly view. In this case, we can see the number of actions that have occurred so far today. And on the bottom right, there's an actual chart of when those actions occurred. Now, this is very important. You can see how these spikes are at the left of the chart, meaning they happened in the early morning hours, around 2 a.m. in this case. That's the proactive actions going off overnight. So the analysis will do a predictive analysis and anticipate what's going to happen during the business day and do all the actions overnight to make sure you're optimally set up for that business cycle. And that means that less activity occurs during the day. So you don't have VMs moving around or a lot of volatility within the business hours. And again, that's a very important aspect of proactive automation. Now, you can't anticipate everything, so there could be an unusual load occurring during the day that you've never seen before, and the top part of this chart shows us how we react to that. So this is the real-time automation, how much is enabled and how much has happened throughout the day. And here you can see that around 9:30 a.m., 8 VMs were given more CPU, and a short while afterwards, some were given more memory as well. So this is the product watching utilization, triggering off utilization that goes outside policy, and then acting in real time to add more resources. So only Densify gives you the combination of both of these. So you get very, very high utilization on your infrastructure, very low volatility, and good performance because you're reacting to changing operational conditions as they occur. Now, all of this is available for a free usage period. So if you sign up and pull down the connector, you can plug it into your environment and get started right away.